don't know if we talked about it before, but listen, family is everything, and our business is a family, and we know that. We're Power Home Strong. Everything we've been through COVID, through almost shutting down in 15 and 16, through all the growth, the challenges, the struggles. I mean, just give yourselves a hand, because where we're at right now is because of every one of the leadership in here. So go ahead and clap for yourself. So, recently I wrote a book, okay? I'm gonna dive into 8 steps to kind of change your life, or a no excuse life. You guys get to hear me every sales meeting and every production meeting. Go out there for 5, 10 minutes, try to build inspiration, motivation, to tear the walls down and build that movement together. You guys get that. I wanna do something a little different today. I wanna try to keep up with the speakers. I wanna see if I can do this talking on a personal level, digging deeper than just your job. Now, what this is lessons and stories that happen in my life. Some of it's dark, and I'm gonna share it with you because you're my family and we're Power Home Strong, right? It's because why, El Mundo? Hey, that's right. So, I'm gonna share some of this, we're gonna go through it, but then I'm gonna apply it to what you do every day. And I think that that's important because every one of us, I'm no better or different than anybody in here. You grind, you find reasons. I want to be relative and relatable to every one of you guys. That's why I was out there squirting water guns and exploding balls and making you hit, a putter as a driver. I mean, I'm trying to have fun with you guys so I can be approachable, so you know that, look, you're no different than me. Follow me, follow this company. Let's do it together and we'll get to the next level, right? But don't quit on something. I left Verizon Wireless early and missed out on hundreds of thousands of dollars in stock options. And there was a little rumor last night where somebody thought if we went public, the executive team would be out. They ain't taking my ass out anywhere. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
This is my baby. That's what it's saying, right? So the first chapter is make your own map. So I'm going to tell you a quick story. I won in 2019, July 2019, the executive team, and Roger was with us. I won the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Southeast Award. I felt pretty good, like I was going to win, not because I was arrogant and cocky, but when I did the interview with the judges a couple months before, there was a moment where Chevy Arnold, who was the director of Ernst & Young Award, mentioned, it was when Zion Williamson was getting ready to leave Duke, it was right before the draft lottery, and the Pelicans had the #1 pick, and they talked about he might go back because he wasn't going to be drafted. He didn't want to go to the Pelicans. That was the rumor. So we saw it on TV. And I said to Chevy and to Roger, oh, that's, that Zion might go back, he's going to go back to Duke. And she said, is that where you went to college? I said, oh, no, I didn't go to college. And her eyes got big and she said, oh, you're the one. And I said, the one what? You're one of the ones that never went to college as a finalist as an EY. That's very, very rare. So I knew I had something. I'm a big believer, if you don't want to be a sheep, you don't want to just be everybody else. You want to be different. So I went into that interview and I crushed it. I told them how I bootstrapped the company, how we put a tile board from Home Depot for $25 out there. Mike Weber talked about it, to put the jobs on the board. How I was making the phone calls. I was running the appointments. I had a pickup truck at the time, a big lifted truck, running over mailboxes trying to sell solar, overcoming that I'm driving a diesel truck and selling you solar, right? To switch cars, okay? All these things I was doing, moving the cart around, helping permitting, helping interconnection, everything we could do, talking to the customers, going to the installs, making sure things were going smooth. That was me, all day, every day. So I explained that, and when I left that interview, Roger called me and said, how did it go? And we all have been there before. We've had interviews or meetings or dates or something where we're like, look, I probably should have, could have done something different. I felt like there was nothing I could have done different. I dropped the mic. I even told Mike, I said, drop the mic. Roger was like, yeah. I said, I feel good. So we show up to the award ceremony, and I'm still feeling confident, but I'm trying to not be arrogant. And then they're showing who I'm going against. And they're showing all the philanthropy that these other companies and CEOs were doing, the entrepreneurs were doing. They didn't show a lot of ours. But we do a ton of philanthropy. You guys know this. We give back all the time. So I said to my wife, I don't think I'm going to win. And I got scared. I got a little nervous. I got intimidated. I mean, here I was, no education, started with a vision and a dream, and I've surrounded myself with great people to help us get to where we're going. But I'm around all of these high Ivy League college educated silver spoon fed people that are running companies, and it's showing everything great they do, and it's just showing a little bit of what we get. I was nervous. And when they announced I won, we all got emotional. I was like, oh my gosh, I won. I got up there. I was the first one to win that day. I didn't know how long they can do the speech. So mine was like 50 seconds. Later, I found out some people are taking 4 or 5 minutes. Now, this was in July of 2019. Had I known how long we have, I might still be doing that damn speech right now. Just so you know, I'm so jacked. But create your own map. You guys ever had that, how the F did I get here moment? Right? Like, whoa, how did this happen? Right? You ever wake up and like, how did I get here? How did my life get me here? So me and my wife were in the hotel that night. And the hotel was overlooking the Atlanta Braves Stadium. It's July 2019. She's laying in the bed, and I look out the window, and I'm like, how did I get here? And it brought me back to a moment where I was 18 years old, and my wife was my ex-girlfriend at the time. We weren't really together, we were fighting. And her mom wanted to give our future daughter up for adoption. We had huge fights about it. And so she was getting induced for labor that day on October 27th, 1998. See, I didn't forget the date. And I drove up there, I worked at First Union as a salesperson, and I drove up there with my friend Benji in my little car, it was like $1,000, with a Polaroid camera. Excited to go see my daughter born. Knew that her mom was trying to convince her and force her to give our daughter up for adoption. And we weren't getting along at the time because she was living with mom. She lived with me, then she lived with mom, then she lived with me, then she lived with mom. We were kids getting ready to have kids, okay? So I show up with my late friend Benji, and we walk in, and I'm like, hey, when I pull up, I see her mom and her sister and this guy Ollie outside, and they run inside. So I pulled up, and I walked in, and I said, I'm here to see Elizabeth Stalvey. And the nurse said, there's no Elizabeth Stalvey here. I said, I just saw her family. She's here. She's having my daughter. I want to pull her camera. I want to see her. They said, she's not here. I said, no, I promise she's here. So she kept looking. She said, they're under an alias name, and they say they don't want you here. It's in the notes. Now, this is when you can go see the babies born. Like, what I mean is you can go to the nursery and you can look at the babies. They don't do that stuff now, but back then you could. So I was upset. I was like, well, what am I going to do? It's my first kid. I'm 18 years old. Man, I don't want to lose my daughter. If something happened, and she'd give it up for adoption. As a 17-year-old girl having a baby, you got your mom in your ear, things going on. You get a little nervous. You get a little scared. So she said, you can go up there and take pictures. So I sat there taking pictures of 9 kids, not knowing which one was mine. Didn't know. And left. I was upset. And about that time, I made a decision, kind of create your own map, that I wasn't going to let anybody dictate what I was going to do in my life. Not her mom, not her family, not anybody. Not anybody I worked for, not anybody. And I took my little $1,000 car, and I went out to a loan place, and I put a lien on my car for $1,000, and I went and hired an attorney for joint custody. Now, lo and behold, the story kind of takes a twist. Her mom wanted her to give the baby up for adoption or call social services. She ended up having that baby alone. Her mom left that night. Okay? I'm telling you the beginning of the story because it gets better at the end. Okay? And she had that baby by herself. And then she called her grandmother, and then she moved in with her grandmother, which is her dad's mom. So Hannah was 6 days old when I first saw her. Elizabeth pulled up to First Union. This is before everybody had cell phones, guys. Okay? So I got paged. And I came down, and I got to hold my daughter for the first time. But to reflect to 2019, when I was sitting there like, how did I get here? What changed me? What triggered me to create something in my mind and soul and mindset to what I want to do, to not let people dictate things? That was a big pivotal moment for me. When that happened, when I took charge of my life, and creating your own map is about that. And that was one of those times that I did that. And there are several times that I've gone through that. And I mean, I'm glad to say me and my wife have been together over 20 years. We have 4 kids and two grandchildren that we love very much. So, things are possible, but looking in 2019 out there and then thinking about how I've come so far, that was something that went in my mind. Now, every day you guys wake up, you get a choice to make. You put your clothes on. Unless some people dress you, that's fine. But you usually put your clothes on. And you get in that car and you decide, am I going to go left? Am I going to go right? Am I going to stop at this stop sign and wait a long time, or am I going to drive forward fast? Am I going to get on the interstate? Or am I going to take the highway? Or am I going to take the side road? You choose. You choose if you're going to show up to work every day. You choose if you're going to be part of building a movement. You choose if this is for you. You choose if you're going to be in your relationship. You choose if you're going to be a better father or mother or a better spouse or partner. You choose that. Nobody else. And that's really creating your own map. You get to dictate everything. Nobody can dictate that for you. We can give you tools. We can give you ideas. We can put you in place to be successful. But this is your choice in your life. And that was one of my chapters. That was the first one, of make your own map. And that's one of the times that I struggled through that. What I'm asking everybody to do, write it down, make your own map. Is every day you wake up, I want you to think of one or two things that you can create or do that make a little difference in your life. And it doesn't have to be big. It could be call your mom. It could be call an old friend. I lost a couple friends to drugs recently. There's 4 or 5 kids I hung out with in high school. Benji, I just mentioned, just passed away like 6 months ago. I have no friend. I have one friend left from high school. Kevin doesn't count. I met him in 5th grade. One friend left from high school. And that's hard. And, just reach out to somebody, help somebody. Maybe you got a peer. Maybe you got someone working for you right now. These are the leaders in here. Your job, the 2 things I want you to think about, you're right, and create your own map or make your own map, either way you put it. Help somebody out. Make a difference in somebody's life. Maybe it's family, maybe it's an old friend, maybe it's someone who works for you. But show them how to create their own map. You guys and ladies have all done a great job of that. That's why you're in this position. Nothing was handed to anyone in this room. Nothing. There was an opportunity, and you guys took it. Nobody gave you anything in this room. Every one of you guys are like me. You earned it. And that's why I'm so proud. When I'm around family, we're Power Home Strong, right? Why are we Power Home Strong? Because we work for power. Hey! All right, let's go to the next one. There's no elevator in life, you gotta take the stairs. Sounds cliche, but it's really not, okay? We grind. I just talked about it. Everybody in this room earned it. I didn't go, hey Derek, you're the regional manager. Congratulations for coming to Power Home. We just hired you today and you're regional. I didn't go, hey Mike Weber, you're the director. Thanks for coming to Power Home. We don't do that. We build from the bottom up. Because we want you to understand the role. Because we want you to manage people where they respect you because they know you're willing to do what they're doing, what you're asking them to do. There is no cheat code. Sure, you can skip some flights. You can get real good at something, and hey, I'm trying to get from 994, I might skip 12 to get there. I can assure you the elevator's the best way to go. Every day you grind. If you can get 1% better every day, that's a lot. If you can just challenge yourself every single day to do a little bit more than yesterday, you'll get there. I love what David Meltzer said yesterday. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. And lowering the bar is paying attention to the steps in front of you. When you walk up to a building and if the elevator doesn't work and it's 100 floors, there's no way in hell anybody except maybe Ben Brookhart and John LeBlanc will take their ass up to the top of the steps. Okay? It ain't my ass. Okay? I'm gonna figure something out. I ain't taking the steps in a 100-story building. Okay? Not happening. However, if I go, well shit, I just gotta get to the 2nd floor. And then after I get to the 2nd floor, I just gotta get to the 3rd floor. And then after I get to the 3rd floor, it's like, I just gotta get to the 4th floor. If you lower that and you take your time grinding, I mean, been a part of 3 organizations. Started 2 from the bottom up, out of my master bedroom, in the first one. And I was working at Verizon Wireless. This is back in '05. And I'm trying to sell home security from home. I mean, I had a house that was 1,100 square feet, guys. I mean, nothing was ever given me. I lived in a trailer park. I didn't have anything. Like, I can tell you, I grew up with no money. My dad worked 2 jobs. I helped him deliver papers at night. while he was working, and then trying to go to school. And I was getting kicked out of schools because I didn't fit in with all the rednecks in North Carolina. I just didn't fit in with, no offense, rednecks, but I just didn't fit in with them. So I struggled. I was always a little different because I didn't want to be sheep. I wanted to be a lion. I wanted to be something different. I wanted to go against the grain. I wanted to be something important, as my man Craig said, make a dent in this universe. And, you know, when I opened that business, everybody, my own family, friends, what the hell are you doing opening a business? You don't even have a college degree. You don't know what you're doing. I took away from my second daughter being born years I missed out because I was, well, a year or two, working at Verizon and then working at this alarm company that we created, running appointments at night. I'm working 18-hour days, 20-hour days, guys. I'm doing whatever I can to get to the next point, not paying myself, reinvesting. I was hiring people at Chili's. I didn't have an office. I couldn't bring you, Noah, to my house. Hey, man, you can work for me? You trust me, right? My house, it's only 1,100 square feet, right? You trust me? Like, I'm writing you a paycheck? Like, I would be nervous to work for me. Like, no. But you gotta start somewhere. There is no other. You gotta start somewhere. We talked about the retreats being one table. You gotta start somewhere, right? Well, I hired people at Chili's. I had a damn tile board. Cost me 25 bucks with a damn Sharpie to put the schedule on the board. I'm running appointments after I'm done working Verizon, showing up. Hey, you want to sign up for alarm? Get your free garage door opener to go with it. It's $1 a day, high five. Like, that was it. That's what I was doing. But you grind. And because you grind and because you take those stairs, if you take the elevator, your muscles don't get stronger. Your mindset doesn't get stronger. You just cheated the system. And therefore you have no foundation of what you're doing. And once the cards fall, you crumble with it. But if you take those steps, and you have patience, and you grind and you do what it takes, and every one of you have done that every single day, and you show the people that work for you that same formula, trust in me, here's what you can do, you can get there. This room can double by next year, and then you're empowering new leaders, you're changing people's lives by showing that when you take the stairs, you gain those muscles, you gain that experience, that mindset changes because you earned it. Anybody ever given anything does not appreciate it. But when you earn something, you appreciate it. That's where I kind of suck. I give my kids too much shit. I mean, that's what I do. I'm like, damn, I should make them earn it more. But I don't. But I love that we do that here at Power Home. I mean, we make you earn it. Why, Armando? Because we work for Power. Bam! All right, so no elevator, take the stairs. Write that down. Make sure you share that with your team. Don't be held hostage. So, in the alarm business, Ben mentioned, you know, it was door knocking business. The first one was. Second one was a group effort between telemarketing and door knocking. And when you have a bunch of door knockers, like let's say this table works for me. This is the company. You guys are out knocking the doors. And Juju and Armando and Noah, they're crushing it. It's our top sales reps. But Noah, he might be number one. He's out drunk and partying after he gets that big check. Well, maybe Armando goes with him one day, and all of a sudden they don't show up Monday. Guess what? As a company, I still got to pay my install team over here. I still got to pay my accounting team over here, my customer service team over here. But this is the driver, and I got 2 people that just screwed us out of getting the numbers we were anticipating. We're budgeting for as we grow. I'm being held hostage to them. You know how many times top sales reps in the alarm business and in the beginning of this solar business, I've had to fold and accept against my morals, just get down and let them have their way? How many times in your life have you put your morals and your beliefs and what you really think is right for you and or the business and what you're doing, put it aside because you feel you're held hostage for this person that works for you or a relationship you're in? Happens all the time. And so many times I would be manipulated. Okay, you're gonna leave, John? Oh, I'll pay you more. Oh, you're gonna leave, Kevin? No, I'll give you more. Well, what does that do for the rest of the room? It takes away from them, right? And I hated that. I was held hostage all the time to top sales reps who would do the wrong thing, but we needed their number. A lot of you leaders out there, all of you are leaders, but on the production side and the sales side, how many times you got people that work for you that you're like, damn it, I gotta deal with this clown shit just for his number? You don't. You never put the company at risk. If it doesn't feel right and you're thinking they shouldn't be on the team, damn it, they shouldn't be on the team. Once that hits up here, it means you're done with them. That means that there's no reason to keep them. If they are hurting your team, they're not worth having. We have let top sales reps go in this business immediately. They slide to a customer, we let you go. Top crews go. They don't put a harness on, they're fired. Zero tolerance. I hate to lose a top crew, but if they want to risk their lives and not tie up, we can't make the exception. We can't be held hostage for a number. We're 2,000 people Power Home strong, not one. You know, building a movement is great, but building a machine is better. And we've built a machine where every one of you are a cog on the wheel, on the truck, on the road, going to the rocket ship and going to the moon. That's how this works. Everybody in this room is no bigger or better than anybody else. And they should be replaceable, because it doesn't mean we want to replace you, but we can't be held hostage for 1 or 2 or 5 people. We have to think of the greater. In life, I've been held hostage before. I'll tell you another story. So I get married. We have a couple kids. My parents used to believe that family was, you guys all know Bill, he's changed, trust me, when I grew up it was not. You think he's bad now? Shit. Way worse, okay? But they used to believe, remember they were young, my mom had me when she was 18, my dad was 20. I was 18, Liz was 17, we had Hannah. So when your kid's raising kids, it's hard. Some of you folks out there know that. It's hard. That's why people usually wait. It's probably smarter to wait. I'm a better parent at 40 than I was at 20. That's normal. A little bit more wise. But I remember that my parents would be like, this is our family. And then like my wife and kids are like, my other family. Like I belong to them first. It took me till I was 30 years old to figure out that wasn't the case. Because what would happen is my mom, you know, back before sanitizer was cool and back before COVID, my wife had OCD like crazy. Like I'm talking like early 2000s, like nobody had sanitizer. You did like special order the shit. She had it. Be like, you gotta sanitize before you touch anything in our house or any kids. Sanitize. Take your shoes off. You're carrying like germs on your shoes. She still does the shoe thing. But all of that going on, my parents would come over. Remember, we never had a lot. And me and Liz, we were starting to do better in life as we were growing. They would feel a little insecure. I'd be like, I gotta take my shoes off. I gotta put sanitizer on and touch your kid. What, are we dirty? They would start questioning themselves. And then I would have a battle between my mom and my wife all the time, where my mom would be disrespectful, like I'm her child, and I need to listen, or we need to pay attention to what she says, and respect her because she's my mom. Maybe some of you are in a relationship like that now. I'm here to tell you, you better cut that cord. Because what I saw happen is I would have to sit here and play referee. Gotta make my wife happy. Gotta make my mom happy. Gotta make my wife happy. Gotta make my mom happy. And that's hard. It's exhausting. It took to where my wife was pregnant with our 11-year-old son, right? Where we were coming back from Vegas, my wife was at the office, we're still running the alarm company, and my mom shoulder checked my wife who was pregnant. They were saying something, my mom said something smart, shoulder checked her. My wife called me and said, I'm done. It's her or me, you pick, I'm done. Well, of course I picked my wife. I mean, shit, what am I gonna do? Right? It's what you're supposed to do, by the way, okay? And my dad got heated. He called me running his mouth, all that. And was being very disrespectful. And I cut him off. We didn't talk to him for almost a year. They didn't even get to see my son be born. And my parents were so pissed. And they had this mindset. And, you know, in 2010, I'm going to tell a story. I remarried my wife. You know, we didn't have a real wedding. We had like a, hey, you want to get married? Sure, all right, pick me up. And we went down to the Justice of Peace and got married for $50. It's a true story. So our 10-year anniversary, I proposed to her again. And I gave her the wedding she always wanted, but she never asked for. Okay? And I wanted my girls to see that. I wanted my son to see that. But the night before, we went down to the church. I never grew up in church. I didn't even really know what God was as a kid. But we would go to church on Easter and Christmas. And during this time, we cut my parents off. Like, we're done. We would go to church though. My wife's like, we need to go to church, you need God in your life. And we bounced to every church. She grew up Catholic. I grew up nothing. We tried every church. We had the Mormon church over, we went to the Catholic church, you name it. Baptist church, we went to all of them. I personally thought the Mormon one was pretty cool, but whatever. And then, it's a joke, guys, it's a joke. But we fell in love with this Baptist church in North Carolina called Grace Covenant, right? And so we started going, and here's something. I don't get jealous of people. I get envious in a good way. And I don't know the word for that. But I look at something and I go, wow, that's awesome. And I saw these fathers, these husbands, they had something I didn't. They were praying over their family. And they were at peace. And here I am, not seeing my parents. My wife just had our son. I'm struggling. I'm hurting. I'm lost. Running a company. I'm lost. And so I told her, I was like, I think this is the woman to do this. So the day before we renewed our vows, we all got baptized as a family, all of us, me and the kids, and became born-again Christians. Now, you never hear me push, religion anymore, but I'm telling you, that's me. That's what we did, right? That's where my heart stands. Well, that tried to set me up for the next few months to we were going to marriage counseling, it was Christian marriage counseling, of how to build a relationship back with my parents because they were out of our life. But they needed to understand that mine and my wife's and kids' circle is our circle, and that's family number one. And family number two, the extended circle, is my parents and or siblings. And I needed them to learn that lesson. As I was learning that lesson, that I couldn't be held hostage. My mom would be like, you're not gonna let me see my grandkids? We're related. Let me tell you something. I've got bad family members and I've got great family members. And because somebody's blood related to you doesn't entitle them to shit. There are friends and people in your life you're not blood related to that are closer to you in life, that are better for your soul, and that are better for you to do better things in this world. They're not entitled to shit. Just because you're DNA related doesn't mean anything. Relationships are about give and take, and it's about respect. And you shouldn't be held hostage for guilt. You shouldn't be held hostage because someone holds things over your head. You shouldn't be held hostage because we need this number, we're going to shut down. We are building a machine on purpose so you're never in that position. Because that's the worst position to be in business. And as we evolved, my parents finally got it. They wanted to come around and see kids. I said, you're going to have to respect my wife like you respect me. Well, you can't come around. Now, I'm glad to say right now, my parents are way better grandparents than they were parents. But I wouldn't change a thing. I have zero regrets. They taught me hard work. They taught me loyalty. They taught me a lot of great things. And I have a great relationship with them. I don't hold a grudge. I learned to forgive and move on. And my parents grew and I grew because of it. But I'm asking each one of you today, make sure you wrote it down. Don't be held hostage to anything in your life. Maybe you're with somebody because you have a kid with them. It doesn't mean you stay with somebody. If it's unhealthy, 2 happy homes is better than 1 unhappy home. It's a fact. I mean, maybe you're being held hostage because, like I said, the people that work for you, or a relationship with a sibling. We're all human. We all go through dark moments. Trust me. My life isn't like, oh, look at Waller. He's like, no. It doesn't work that way. I'm just as normal and real as you guys. All right. Now, why aren't we held hostage, Armando?
Because we work for power.
Hey! All right. This is one of my favorites right here. Scared money don't make money. That's a fact. Listen, there are so many times in my life where I've had to bet it all. I've done that a few times in poker and I've lost. That's a fact. Played the World Series poker 4 times, I got shit to show for it. I'm like, I'm all in. Shit! All right, let's go home. We just got here. I know, we gotta go. So, it's happened a lot, all right? But, when you believe in something, you're all in on something. Maybe it's here at this job. Maybe it's in a marriage. Maybe it's in a relationship. Whatever it is, maybe it's an investment. When you are passionate, you believe in something, don't ever go against that. You double down on it. You bet on yourself. Because when you bet on yourself, and you believe in yourself, good things happen, and other people will follow. They'll start believing in you. That's a fact. I told you, nobody thought we could open up the home security business. I'm going to bring it up to the solar business. So, most of you guys know the story because you've been here, a year or two, 9 months. But, in 15 we opened up. I put all the money I made in the security business over time into Power Home Solar. And Kevin and I didn't get a check for 22 months. And Kevin wasn't helping me build at the beginning. He was still trying to run our call center business, selling alarms on the phone, which then dried out and needed money from the solar company early on. It was like you couldn't win for losing. I had this vision, I had this dream. I could see the light, but I couldn't get there. I would sell these deals, but I needed all this cash capital to get the permit, to get the design, to order the equipment. I didn't have credit lines with distributors. I had to do all this. Where's this money going to come from? Right here. Everything I made in the alarm business here. Almost $2 million. And then it got to the point to the end of 2015, which we had a Disney trip planned, which I probably shouldn't have went on, but we already paid for it. And I was there like, man, I could use this money to put back into business. The kids are having fun, like it's bullshit. Put it back into business. And I looked at my wife, and I was very upset. I said, and Kevin was telling me, dude, we gotta close down, dude. We're losing our ass. And look, Kevin didn't have the money to put in that I put in, but he was still my partner. When we opened up Power Home Solar, when we left Power Home Technologies, Ben, Eric, and myself were equal partners, and Kevin was a 5% partner there. But when we opened up Power Home Solar, Kevin and I told him, I said, we'll go 50-50, but I got one request. I call the shots. We're equal, but I'm gonna call the shots. I need you to be my Robin, I gotta be Batman. I can't be I need you on my team every time. So he makes me better. He makes me better because of that, and I make him better because of that. And that's what we did. But he was running the call center business, wasn't really involved, didn't have the money. I stuck everything in there. And I told my wife, I said, she's like, what do you want to do? I said, he wants us to shut down. We have like 34 employees. We're barely making payroll. I'm sticking everything I've got in there. I'm not getting a paycheck. I've lost almost everything from the alarm business. I have nothing left. I have money in my home. That's it. Everything I worked for my whole life. It's like, what do I do? I've never really lost because I've never really quit. She's like, you gotta pray about it. I prayed about it. And I woke up the next morning, I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm gonna ride this thing to the wheel. They're gonna have to, this is before Wolf of Wall Street came out. So they're gonna have to throw me the fuck out of this building. I'm going in there, and if they're not all in on Power Home, I'm kicking them in the ass and they're out, and I'm hiring brand new fucking people that are gonna believe in the dream, and I'm gonna start doing everything again myself and regrind it and hire people based on culture and attitude and desire and want and everything. I'm not gonna hire because I'm a great salesman. No, bullshit. If you don't believe in what I believe and we can't do it together, I'm done. So I went in there and fired 80%, not 20%, 80% of the staff, and started doing stuff on my own and started building it up. I sold my house, told my wife, we gotta sell the house. We're in Lake Norman over there, that Trump neighborhood, $2 million house on the lake. Her and the kids, stink eye. Why are we selling the house? I'm gonna stick it in the business. You're losing, you're not even getting a paycheck. I know. It's like throwing money in the trash can. I know. My wife didn't say that though. She goes, if that's what you think you can do, I believe in you. You do it. She's a trooper. She did give me a stink eye. There's a little bit of back and talk. Just a little bit of back talk. She set me straight. The back talk came from me. But I said, look, I'm gonna reinvest all this. And you gotta trust me. What if it doesn't work? And it doesn't work, but you know what? If I don't do this, I'll have regret for the rest of my life. Wondering, could I have, should I have, what could I have done? And when you have scared money, don't make money, you have to be able to risk it all. Every single time. And I did. And it paid off. We lost money in 2015 and we lost money in 2016. That's a fact. And I got used to living on ramen noodles and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And we downsized to an okay home. It was 1/9 the size home. What the hell, Dad? Why are we living here? I'm like, dude, really? It's brand new, man. You got new food. Shut up. Get in there. Like, it was tough. Like, I don't want to hear shit. I don't care. So my oldest was finishing her senior year. I said, let's just do this for a year and see if I can fix this company. I don't want to quit. I'm not a quitter. When you fail, you learn. I got to finish this the right way. I was worried about the 30 families that then at the end of 16 became 100 and something families. The end of 17 became 300 and something families. The end of 18 became 500 and something families. The end of 19 became 700 and something families. The end of 20 became 1,600 and something families. And as of right now, it's over 2,000 families. And why do I know? Because we are power. All right. So remember that. Bet on yourself. Scared money don't make money. Do that every time. Show that in leadership to your team. Turn failure into fuel. Look, we all fail. I fail every day at something. But I'm going to be honest and tell you a sick, twisted thing about me. I love that shit. Because when all we do is win, we're not growing and we're not learning. You know, I'll use my son as an example. I brought it up before. He is a great quarterback. Kid can't run for shit. If there's a fire, somebody better pick him up. But he can throw. He's 11 years old. He can throw the ball like almost 40 yards. It's unreal. And he's so smart at the game. He studies the game. He makes his, like it's like he's 15. He's really good. He's really smart. He just can't run. He's not a great athlete. I mean, Kenny would agree. I mean, Christian's got a great head and a great arm. He's just not, you know. Kenny's kid's like fucking super fast. Got wheels. Got great DNA. My shit ain't that good. That's okay. But he goes out there and he plays. He throws like 16 touchdowns in a season. Like, I'm bored. And he's regressing. So I put him on an older team. Older team, he threw 6 picks and 14 touchdowns. But he grew. He had more fun. He was challenged. You know, when one of our departments, one of our teams are just winning all the time, you get comfortable. You get comfortable. You can't get comfortable. You have to chase something. You have to find to get to the next step. That's what it's about. And the only way to chase something, the only way to get to the next step is to fail. Because when you fail, you learn. I can't do that, I can do that. And you get stronger. In 2020, we had all kinds of failures. We had all kinds of pain. But we bonded and we got stronger. You need failure, guys. You can't always be number one and get lazy. You need to challenge yourself to fail. Think about all these people in here that lift all the time, which is not me, okay? I lift, but I talk in the parking lot, right, John? Right. So, you know, the reason that their muscles get bigger and they get in shape is because they're tearing it down. They're ripping it up. That's like a failure. It's a lesson. They're beating it up. You have to challenge your mind every single day. If you're at the top of your game and you're bored, find something else to make you fail. Find something else to give you humility. Find something else to make you humble and have gratitude. You need to fail. Like, I hate we had a shitty November and February. But we needed it. Because we were like this, and we needed to go, oh shit. And then this, oh, and then come back. We need that. Because guess what? If we had a month like October and December and January, March and April and May all the time, we don't learn anything. But because of November and February's results, we learned it, oh shit, we got to get ROAS. We got to do something different. Makes us a better company. Oh, we got to figure out a better way to do installs and more efficient, and try to get working extra teams so they can go 5 days and have days off. Like, we have to fail to learn. We just have to. It's important. So when you're trying 100%, you're giving all your effort, but you fail, that's okay. That means you just got a lesson. It's not really failing. Now, if you're not giving effort, that's just me. That's a you problem. That's different. But if you're giving it all and you fail, we are never like, well, Roger, you're busting your ass and you're giving 110%, but you're not hitting the numbers. You guys all know people we let go that don't hit their numbers is not because they're working their ass off and trying to learn. It's because they're usually in the bottom 20%. They're finding ways to blame other people and find excuses, and they're not turning failure into fuel. They're turning failure into blame, into resentment, into excuses. And that's why we let those guys go and those ladies go. It is not because it's like, man, they're really trying hard, they're great people, they're 110% in. I was talking to some of the leadership here team earlier this week, and I said, look, I asked myself a few questions before I'm interested in letting someone go. Is this just a job for them, or is this a lifestyle? Is this a career? It's question one I ask. If it's just a job, and I challenge every one of you, make sure you're looking at your guys and your ladies that work for you. Is this just a job? And that's okay. You need some shelf life jobbers. But you need to watch them. Because if they don't turn it into a career, they're going to slow your team down. But I asked that question. Then I asked, are they all in? Like, all in, would they take a call on the weekend like it matters? If it was 6:30 and I really needed something, would they answer the phone? I don't want to bother them the family time, but are they available? Are they all in? Or are they like, oh, it's 5 o'clock, here's my phone, I'm done. See you Monday. Like, or are they that guy or lady? If they're that person, it's just a job. And then I ask myself, if they were out of the equation, is the company better off or worse? And if we put someone else in there, is the company better off and worse? And those are the questions I ask myself when I want to make a decision on somebody not being here anymore. And I challenge every one of you guys, failure in the field, to ask those questions in your mind on the people that work for you. You know the people that work for you. You know what they're doing. Of course you can go to a director or an executive and this guy needs to stay. Like, this isn't an effort problem, this is a training problem. We would always save people that are in the game. But unfortunately, the world we live in, some of them aren't. And everyone in this room is. And why is that, Armando?
Because we work for power.
Bam! Now, this is like my second favorite. Love your haters. Now, I'm going to go back to the first story I told you. Okay? I've had so many haters in my life. I talked about my mother-in-law. My own family was hating. I've had friends hate. People in high school used to make fun of me because I had fake Tommy Hilfigers from the flea market. I used to get in fights all the time. I went to 5 high schools and never finished. 5. I got a lot of fights. Never started a fight. Ben was lucky I didn't come see it. Just saying. Double down. Scared money don't make money. Okay. But, you know, I never looked for a problem. I wasn't a troublemaker, but my dad always told me, for those that know Bill, you better never start a fight, but Danny, you better finish or I'm going to whip your ass when you get home. So I would get fights at school because somebody would mess with me or talk shit about my shirt and shove me, and I was nervous if I didn't win, I was going to get a beat when I got home. That's a true story. I won most of the fights, so I never really got beat that much for that reason. I got beat for other reasons. But I'm not the biggest and baddest person. I know when to hold them, I know when to say, that ain't for me. You got to know. I got a big son bitch in here back there, I ain't even messing with him. I'm just letting you know. I'm going to hit the door. I got to get some homies for you, dog. Maybe Michael King, too. I might need some homies to help me with him, too. And Derek, he's big. A couple people in here, I might have to ask for some help. But some, I'm all right. That's how I feel. Thank you. So, but I've had people hate me from high school. I've had in-laws hate me, like my mother, hate me. He lives in a trailer. Why would you want to date him? They can move their house with their feet. Like, for real, legit. I was like, can we? We never tried, but we probably could. But, and there's nothing wrong with trailers. Fuck that, I lived in a trailer. I love it, dude. Trailer park trash. I'm proud to say that. It doesn't bother me none. But that's the reality. All that hate, I had to like, all that haters talking stuff, it motivates me. That's another sick thing about me. I love when people tell me I can't. I love when people say, oh, you won't. Or they hate. I'm like, you just fucking buckle up, get some popcorn, get a Pepsi. I'm going to put you on a fucking show for you. That's my goal. My show is on. You better be ready.